Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Alyssa here. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. I've got the beret on in honor of the weather finally cooling off here in Las Vegas. It's actually been a cool 85 degrees, and to us that's cool, that's cold. So what do? We break out the woolly hats and the warm clothing. I can't wait to wear a sweater tomorrow. You have no idea. I'm so excited because it's been over 100 degrees for 3 months straight. So I'm feeling it. But, I just wanted to come on here and talk about 6 notes on professionalism. So, as a singer, if you are in the scene and you're working a lot, whether that be with bands, whether that be on cruise ships, whether that is any kind of gig or any kind of performing job that you do, being professional and maintaining professionalism, carrying yourself in a professional way is very, very, very important. And I know as time goes on, people tend to get very casual and very comfortable. I think it's the social media thing, right? The texting and just people just get so comfortable not having boundaries and not crossing lines. And I just feel like in our industry especially, we still need to be very, very mindful of our professionalism. Now, and that's kind of why I wanted to put this video together. Now, I came up with 6 things, and of course there are many others, so I want you guys to leave a comment. Okay, now the first thing, I got my notes here. The first thing is emails. You always want to make sure that you're sending professional emails. Now, you may be in a situation where you can actually text your stage manager or text your band leader, or you may have that relationship where you guys maybe are in a Facebook group or a WhatsApp group or something like that, where you're in some kind of casual type of messaging platform to interact with your superiors. For example, at Vegas the Show, I have my company manager's cell number, and it's okay if we text them. And while that does seem kind of weird, you have your boss's personal number, well, you do, but you definitely, if you use it, obviously goes without saying, you're going to only use it for professional emails, and you're going to keep the communication very professional. So, like I said, whether it's an email or a text message or any sort of correspondence between you and a superior, you want to always make sure you're using proper grammar and punctuation. I'm laughing because it seems like common sense, but I just want to make sure that you understand how important it is to be very clear and very concise in an email. Let's say you're emailing to get time off, to request time off, or emailing to change the set list or something, pertaining to work or your job. You need to make it very clear in the email what you're asking for, and don't be too casual. That's very important. No emojis, no LOLs, not unless you guys have really that relationship, and a lot of times that's not the case. You want to keep it very kosher, very clean cut, and always very professional. Now, number 2 is gossip. I know it's easy to gossip about things. It's easy to get into that dressing room talk, the tea, the chisme, the gossip. But honestly, it can kind of create a tense work environment to, always be gossiping. Try to keep the gossip to a minimum. Now, I understand that in certain situations, you're in close quarters, right? So if you're on a cruise ship and you're with your cast 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, there's going to be some drama. There's always going to be something that goes on, but try to keep the gossip and talking about others behind their back and personal stuff to a minimum, and I'll tell you why. Even though, what you're doing may kind of leak in and out of your personal life, you don't want that to be a reason why people don't want to work with you again, or why people maybe alienate you and maybe not give you a job again. So keep the gossip to a minimum. There may be people that you work with in your band or in your group that you don't like, but you may just need to talk to your friends or family or people that are not affiliated about that, because the minute you talk to one person, then it gets to the next person, you don't want to look like you're the person that started all that drama and that gossip. So keep the gossip to a minimum at all times. Number 3, speaking of being in close quarters and working closely with people that you perform with, let's talk about showmances, shall we? Showmances, things that happen often. I'm guilty. I've been in a few, and I'm going to do a video about showmances and what they are, how they happen, and how to navigate them, because it's very, very, very hard. Have you heard that expression, don't crap where you eat, right? Meaning don't, I guess it means don't, date someone where you make money. I'm not really exactly sure how the metaphor breaks down, but don't, this is your place of business. You have to be a professional. You can't be entertaining personal relationships. At least they can't take any of your focus away from your job. Now, if you, are with someone every single day, of course, it's bound to happen. It happens. It happens all the time. I've dated a lot of people, and kind of talked to, hooked up with people that I worked with that were either in my band or in my cast, and I never let it get, sometimes, it got weird, and sometimes it was okay, because once I learned that needs to stay fully separate. If you have to do it, if you have to be in a show romance, don't, just try to keep it under wraps as much as possible, at least until it becomes serious. And then if and when it does become serious, don't let that, relationship get in the way of how you operate professionally within your cast or within your group, because that is definitely something, that is a definite no-no. Because I'll give you an example, let's say such and such is dating the dance captain, and then the dance captain goes around and he's giving notes, and he doesn't give such and such a note. And so someone else sees that, and they're like, oh, well, you're playing favorites because you're dating her. And then that's when it all gets kind of weird. So if you are going to date or be with or entertain any kind of relationship while you're working on a job or anything like that, just keep it professional, keep it separate all the time. I do have one little example of a time that I got fired for something similar to that. Not very professional, was it? Okay, the 4th thing that I want to talk about is giving notes to people. So, your dance captain is there for a reason. Your vocal captain is there for a reason. Your stage manager is there for a reason. The company manager, the director, the choreographer, they're all there for a reason, okay? So that's their job, to give people notes. And so if you're in a show and someone is not going to their spot, or someone you're in, let's say you're in a choir or in some kind of choral gig, and someone's not singing their part, and it doesn't serve you, it actually looks bad if you are not the director or the vocal captain or anything to give other people notes about what they should be doing. Because trust me, whoever is in charge will catch it. And I understand how tempting it can be, because when you know something is wrong, it's wrong. You want to fix it. And even if you have no malicious intent, you just want to tell them, that's wrong. Let's fix it. You're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. Not even to be nitpicky, but I just want it right. And I get that. But it doesn't look good, especially if you do it in front of the dance captain or the vocal captain. You don't want to undermine them or, kind of step in front of their authority, because that's definitely, that's a big no. That's very unprofessional. If you see something that is wrong and it really just bothers you and it hasn't been corrected by the proper people yet, you go to the proper people. You take it onto yourself to pull the manager, whoever is in charge, your supervisor, aside and say, look, I think such and such is doing this wrong and it's affecting me because of this. Or it sounds like this. Could you check out how they're doing this note, because it kind of interferes with how I'm doing, or they're standing right here. So, it's okay to tell people something, but don't correct them and don't give them notes, because it's very, very frowned upon. I know, especially in the theater community, I don't want to be anybody's boss, okay? I don't want to be a leader, like, in that sense. Like, I don't want to tell people what to do. I don't want to direct people unless it's my project anyway, so, like, I don't generally do that. If something's wrong in my mind, I'm like, oh, well, they're going to catch it anyway, and if they don't, then I'll either say something aside to the proper person and let them deal with it, or I just let it go, because at the end of the day, I know I'm doing my job, and if I'm doing something wrong, they'll correct me, and I'll continue doing it. So that's the way to be professional. Now, number 5, social media. That's a good one. That's a fun one, right? Social media, everyone has it. Everyone uses it. I mean, we all have IG. We all have Facebook and Snapchat and YouTube and Twitter and all that fun stuff. And it's great. It's so good to be able to connect with people like that. But it also can be a very dangerous territory, a slippery slope, if you are going to post things either about your personal life or post things about your job. I mean, that's a big no-no. A lot of these things seem self-explanatory, but I gotta say it because it happens, man. People are getting fired. I've known people that are getting fired left and right for inappropriate things that they write on their Twitter or on their Facebook about the job. Oh, my boss is a blank, 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 right? Or another one, posting pictures and taking, Snapchat videos and lives and stuff in a dressing room where people are changing. I knew someone that got fired for doing that because there were people, in the dressing room behind her getting changed. That's very unprofessional. So you definitely want to keep your social media to a minimum. What you post has to be tasteful. It has to be, pointed, of course, but just be very careful of your social media presence when you're working, because depending on what you're doing, I mean, even in general, if future employers or agencies or anybody are looking on your social media and they see all kinds of inappropriate stuff, I mean, that definitely reflects badly on you, and that's in any industry. That's not just in singing and theater. That's literally anywhere. They tell you to be careful of that, right? So we're going to keep it going. And last but not least, this is a short video, but last but not least, professionalism, number 6. Learn to keep all that personal drama at the door, okay? We all have bad days, okay? I have had terrible days. I have had moments where I was about to cry, but then I had to walk on stage in 2 seconds and just get it together. I mean, that's what we do. That's who we are. Like, we're performers, we're actors, we're singers, we're dancers, we are artists. We're performers, so we put on a persona, and that's just what it is. You have to be professional at all times. You have to do your job at all times. So having said that, when you have personal drama, things going on, we all have things going on. But the minute you walk into the room, you walk into your rehearsal, you walk into your gig, you walk into the dressing room, you don't bring it up. I don't care how much it's bothering you. If you need to take time off, if you need to take a day off and you can do that and you can make that happen, then take time off before you go into your job with a bad attitude, or snapping at people, or ignoring people, or rolling your eyes at people, because it's like, ugh, what did I do to you? You just walked in here huffing and puffing, right? At the end of the day, we have to be professional and come in and do our jobs and push everything that's going on in our personal lives. We have to push all of that to the back of our mind so we can focus on the right here, right now, and that's delivering a good show and being fair to our teammates, the people that we work with, by, being a good coworker. And emotionally stable as much as possible. I get it. I know things happen, but there's nothing worse than, let's say you're in there, you're in the dressing room, you're getting ready, you've got your music on, you're in a good mood, you're ready to go, ready to get on stage, and then your, castmate or someone walks in, your bandmate walks in, and they're like mad, and they're throwing their stuff, and they put their headphones on, they're just like not talking to anybody, because first you're like, well, what did I do something to you? And then even if it's not personal, I didn't do something to you, like, what's going on? Like, oh shit, like, what happened, It just makes everybody uncomfortable. So if you're having a bad day, just keep it to yourself. It's okay to have a bad day, but, don't let it permeate into the room, because that's very, very, very unprofessional. Now, that's it for the video. I hope you guys liked it. Like I said, a lot of very straightforward stuff, a lot of stuff that is universal to all jobs, but of course we are talking about singing and performing, and we're talking about theater, and we're talking about bands and choirs and all that kind of fun stuff. So I really hope that you enjoyed it. Comment below anything that you thought of, anything that I may have missed. And yeah, tell me what you liked about the video, and also comment videos that you might want to see from me. You can send me an email as well. Make sure you like this video, and as always, subscribe, and I will be back with more videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!